Hello, everyone. My name's Heather Smith. I'm the Director of Employee Health and Infection Control here at KSB Hospital. I'm here today to talk to you about a few tips and tricks we can take this holiday season to keep us all safe. This year in particular is expected to be a higher than average respiratory infection season, and we want to make sure that we keep all of our loved ones safe and healthy this holiday. So, with that, I want to go over a few tips and tricks that you can keep in mind when having your family gatherings. The first one is vaccination. Vaccination is the number one thing we can do to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. We have several infections that we're concerned about this respiratory season, and that includes COVID-19, influenza, and RSV. The last couple years, we've been most concerned with COVID-19 and have had a pretty mild flu and RSV season. However, this year our influenza is already at a very high level. Influenza can cause hospitalizations and severe illness, along with COVID, and RSV most concerned in our immunocompromised adults and our children. So there is no vaccination for RSV, so prevention methods are the most important thing to do. With influenza and COVID, we do have vaccination to help keep the illness less severe. Influenza is our seasonal influenza vaccine that's available for 2022-23 influenza season. And then to be up to date on your COVID-19 vaccine, that means you've received your primary dose or doses, depending on if you received a 1-dose series or a 2-dose series, and then have received at least 1 dose of bivalent booster since if it's been 2 months since your last vaccine. The second thing to do and to keep in mind during our holiday gatherings is frequent hand hygiene. So hand hygiene is the number one way we can prevent infections, not only here in the hospital, but also in our community and at home. Something I like to do during holiday gatherings is keeping hand sanitizer available throughout the home. So it's easy access for our guests and loved ones when they come through. They're more apt to use it if we have it sitting on a table, have it sitting by the sink, things like that, that allow easy access to it and makes people more apt to use it. The third thing is wiping down high touch surface areas. Again, this is something very simple to do if you keep cleaning wipes, or however you choose, if you keep a spray bottle and a cloth to go ahead and wipe down surfaces. Your high touch surface areas are places like doorknobs, countertops, faucets, things like that people are touching, going in and out. That's something that we want to make sure that we're wiping down frequently. Those are where the most germs are going to consume on our things that can spread from one person touching to another person touching. Something you can do that's really simple during a holiday gathering. As a host, you may get busy with other things, cooking, things like that. You could assign a guest or a loved one that's willing to help or wants to know how they can help. That can be something that you can assign to them to just walk through the home or the gathering place frequently and wipe down areas that are those high touch areas to help prevent the spread of infection. The fourth thing we're talking about today is ventilation. So ventilation in your home or ventilation in your gathering area. You want to make sure that you strategically place distance apart from sitting areas where people are going to converse and talk. This can be very simple without making it a complicated thing. Just when you put your chairs out, just space them a little bit further apart. Utilize the whole space so that you have space between you, and then keeping good airflow moving throughout the home is all things we can do. Stagnant air, is worse than keeping the air ventilation and exchanges good in your home. And then number 5 is very, very important. This is not attending when you feel ill or you feel under the weather or you feel like you could be coming down with something. So typically our body sends us signals when we are going to become ill, and those signals we need to pay close attention to this holiday season so that we're not exposing others or our loved ones to illness. So this can also be not attending when you're ill, but also making sure you're taking, precautions if you have to go out in public as well. Making sure if you need to go out for your illness that you're putting a mask on, you're using that hand hygiene, and you're doing all the things to keep each other safe. But you can get creative. Everyone wants to gather after the last couple of years that we have endured. We all want to gather with friends and family, but we want to do it safely. So, get creative, FaceTime, have family food drops at your doorstep. Don't miss out on the food. Have them drop it off at your doorstep. There's things we can do to still partake in the activities, but to keep everyone safe. And lastly, I want to go over just masking in crowded areas. So I know masking has been something we've really stressed a lot these last couple of years, but when you're going to be traveling in highly crowded areas, airports, things like that, you have to, go by your comfort level, knowing what you're most comfortable with, and you don't want to be caught in a situation where you feel like you have enough space and you're safe to go to all of a sudden a crowded area and then wish you had your mask. So I would make sure to keep your mask handy with you. If you have a spot for it that you can keep in your pocket, your purse, your wallet, whatever works for you, so that you have that available when those crowded areas do come about that you didn't expect during your travel. So I'm hoping with all this in mind, as we expect this respiratory season to be pretty severe, that you can use one or two of these tips and tricks, or maybe all of them, in your holiday gatherings and holiday season, and have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.